So, how do you connect with the biker community? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you stopping back by. Today we're going to talk about how to plug in to the biker community. If you've not seen my video on the biker culture dying off, I'll post a link right here for you. But it's definitely a concern, and talked to a lot of people lately, especially new riders, wanting to know how they get into the biker community and connect with folks in there. So we're going to talk about that today while we are out riding. It is a glorious 70 degrees here in Georgia, beautifully sunny, and most of all, I'm not working. So we're going to go enjoy some wind therapy and talk about how to plug into the biker community. I think the biggest thing in starting out my list of suggestions is the most obvious point, obviously to me, is to get out there, man. Get out and ride and make it a point to meet people. If you want to plug in to the biker community, you've got to be able to meet people and have a conversation. Now, for a lot of people who are introverted and like to stay to themselves, that becomes a little more difficult task. And for extroverted people, it should be super easy to get out there and have a conversation with people. So when you get out there, go to some events, go to some bike nights, go to some different motorcycle events, rides, what have you. It can be just something simple as getting out and riding and going to a place where you know that people meet up and hang out and go for rides. Could be, you know, your Harley dealership. You know, plenty of times you just be at the dealership and spark up a conversation with somebody, you know, about something. And I think an easy way to do that is when you're out there and you see a bike that you like, compliment that person on their motorcycle. It will definitely start a conversation. Make it a point to ask people how they've customized their motorcycle, what kind of things that they have on there. It's always a good way and an easy way to spark up a conversation with somebody that you don't know, as you talk about something that has common ground between the two of you. And obviously in this case it would be motorcycles. Now, I've always said too, it is a good idea if you look at customizing your motorcycle, and this video is not about customizing, but if you talk about customizing your motorcycle, one good thing to do in thinking about customizing your motorcycle is to go to some bike nights or some bike events or some rides where you know there's going to be a lot of motorcycles there. Gives you a lot of ideas, and you get to see what other people have done to their motorcycle and kind of spark your creativity. So when you're starting a conversation out, super easy, super friendly. Lots of people love to talk about their motorcycles. I have yet to meet somebody who does not enjoy talking about their motorcycle. If I ever did meet somebody that was not interested in talking about their motorcycle, I would have one question for them, and that is, do you own the right motorcycle? Because even though my motorcycle is a 2016 and now we've got these awesome 2024s out, I still love my motorcycle and I love to talk about my motorcycle. It's part of who I am, and that's how I've built it, is to be a part of me. So when you're out there meeting people talking about their motorcycle, I think it gives you a good opportunity to, you know, connect with people and see who they are and how they are. And talking about going to like events and rides and bike nights and that kind of stuff, probably one of the most awesome ways to meet people is to go to a benefit ride. It is ride season. You know, Daytona is over. Daytona, like, officially, unofficially kicks off the ride season for most people, and people are out there riding, and there's all sorts of events that are posted out there. So go to a group ride, a benefit ride, and find something that you know, is a good cause that you will like to support, and go there and meet people. Obviously, you know, in the biker community and culture as a whole, we are very generous, giving people who love to support causes and go on rides. It's part of who we are and what we do. And there's a ton of people that go to some of these rides. I've been on rides where there are thousands of motorcycles, and it's just a great way to get out there, meet people, have a conversation with people. You never know what will end up happening. Years ago, when we moved to Georgia, my wife and I were out riding, and it was Thanksgiving Day. We actually went for a ride on Thanksgiving, and we just went down this road with a covered bridge because I had heard that it was there. So we were out exploring, and we stopped at the covered bridge. There were several other people that were there who just happened to stop, and we started a conversation with them. They invited us to go on some rides with them, and they were keeping me posted, being somebody new to the state in the area. They were keeping me posted on rides that were going on in different benefit rides that they supported. So it was pretty cool that I was able to just literally spark up a conversation with them and be able to make a connection. And to this day, I still have that guy's phone number, and we do stay connected. So it happens. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what kind of friendship that you're going to create just over something simple like a little conversation. Now, one of the other things that I think that you can get into in connecting with the biker community is, you know, you have organizations like Harley Owners Group or HOG. You do have other local ride clubs or riding groups, organizations, and think about it. All of those people, like HOG, for example, HOG is a group of Harley owners, thus the name, duh. But you have ultra like-minded people that they all ride, and they all ride Harley Davidson. So you all know on this channel I'm a big Harley fan. I'm a big Harley enthusiast, and I've been a HOG member for many years, and it's always a great way to get out there and connect with people. Most HOG chapters do a lot of riding. I know that our local HOG chapter here in my area, they ride every single weekend. They do some rides during the week as well, especially when it's warm. But even in the wintertime, they will literally ride every single Saturday and Sunday, and they always have someplace to go. Now, sidebar conversation. If you go riding with like say the HOG group, you know, most of the time HOG groups go for food or ice cream, and you just got to keep that in mind. You might come out of your experience well fed or a little more svelte than normal. So I'm fat to begin with, so no, that's not how I got fat. It was riding with HOG. I just love food. So, you know, when I go ride with HOG chapter and they go ride to food, my only hope is that we go someplace awesome, someplace that I've never been before, or someplace that I enjoy, because it's always good fun. And think about, you know, the fact that you go ride with these folks and you have a good time and you have a good ride, and you go to a location where you can share a meal together, and food always brings people together. When you think about like holiday gatherings, you know, what is everybody doing during the holidays? They're always eating food. So us fat old bikers love to go ride to good food places, and it's always great when you can enjoy a meal and have some camaraderie and fellowship with other like-minded people and talk about motorcycles and cool stuff. Now, I know a lot of younger people kind of, I don't want to say have a concern, but they have an opinion, at least it's been voiced to me, that you know, a lot of people in the HOG chapter are older, and that is statistically true. I've been around HOG for a long time, and most of the people have been older, but they're awesome human beings, number one. And number two, age is just a freaking number, dude. Some of these guys get out and ride, and they ride a lot of miles. I know one of the guys in our local HOG chapter has almost 100,000 miles on 2 different motorcycles. The man rides. He's got a wealth of knowledge, so especially like new riders and people who are looking to make connections and, you know, kind of lean on people for advice and stuff, they have it. Not to mention the fact that when you got people that ride like that and they have that many miles on a motorcycle, they have a lot of cool stories and a lot of memories, and that's stuff that I personally enjoy. May not necessarily be for everybody, but you know, when I have a conversation with folks and we talk about their ride memories, you know, and I share my ride memories, it's a lot of fun, and it allows us to relive those really good times where we were out having fun riding, getting some wind therapy, and leaving everything else behind. Another great place to make connections with people in the biker community is to find a rally to go to. You know, like I said in my video about the biker culture dying, there's just not as many bike rallies out there. Yes, you have the big ones, Sturgis, Daytona, Laconia. You have these big rides where you know, people gather, but there used to be a whole bunch of smaller rallies, more local rallies, and there's just not as many. But find a rally to go to and go have a good time. Rallies, especially like over a weekend where you camp out and hang out with people for a weekend, it's a blast, and you definitely will make some connections with people by attending a rally. So one of the big pieces of advice I would give people looking to plug themselves in and connect with other people in the bike community is a genuine piece of advice. It's not meant to be negative, derogatory, be a smartass. It is a genuine piece of advice, and that is just go and be yourself. I can't stress how important that is. When you're out there and you're having a good time with like-minded folks, go be yourself. You know, a lot of people just try to have that one-up conversation with people, or you know, everything that they've done is always bigger and better. And you know, when you have that kind of mentality when you're trying to meet new people, it is a significant downer in a conversation. At least that's my opinion. And I would rather just meet people, have them be themselves. Everybody is unique. Even in the biker culture, as tight-knit and specific as the biker culture is as a subculture in the world, we are different people than normal members of society. So when I meet people, I just want them to be genuine. I want them to be themselves. I want to be able to get to know that person for, you know, who they are, and you know, what kind of values that they have. I just want to know that person, you know, in an honest situation. And along with that, and like I said, not trying to be derogatory, just offering some friendly advice from somebody who is very outgoing and likes to go meet people in the biker world. I have conversations with people about motorcycles every day. And one of those things that comes up is know your limitations when you're having a conversation. A lot of people are afraid or embarrassed to not know something, not know about motors, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Dude, it's okay. I would rather have somebody not know and be able to share some cool information with that person, rather than somebody just start spouting stuff that just isn't real, isn't part of the conversation, or leads you to think, hey, they really don't know what they're talking about. So I know a lot about motorcycles and stuff, and I always look to learn things from other people. I don't work on motors, so that's something that I want to learn. So when guys are talking about motors, or, you know, like a big one is having a discussion on what is the best cam, you know, I always engage in that conversation, but I do so in an angle of learning, and I want to be a part of that conversation. It helps to connect with people, but you know, there are just some things that I don't know, and I want to be able to learn those things from people. And hopefully in turn, I may be able to teach that person or share some knowledge with somebody about something that they don't know, or, you know, need information on. And I think that is a lot of the fun in meeting people and having that conversation, is learning stuff. I try to be a sponge. I like to learn as much as I can. I've done it my whole life, and I'm full of useless information. Ask people who know me closely. They will tell you that I will just spout off random pieces of information, but it's stuff that I learn, and it may come out in a conversation and you know, trigger a memory. So just know your limitations in a conversation. Know, you know, what you have knowledge in, and try to obtain knowledge from others. Like I said earlier, you know, if you got people who've been riding and they ride a lot of miles and they've been riding for a lot of years, been on a lot of long trips, those guys have a wealth of knowledge to be able to share with us as people who are not as seasoned as they are, and I love hearing that stuff. One of my favorite things I learned from an old biker years ago is if you have wet boots, you can put newspaper down in there to absorb all the water, and it will dry your boots overnight. And I picked that little tip up, and I was like, cool, I'm going to store it away and use it. My wife and I went on a ride in 2011, and we got soaked, and her boots were not waterproof, and I told her to throw some newspaper in there. She thought I was an idiot, and she woke up the next morning and her boots were completely dry. So it was cool to be able to use a nugget of information that I had learned from somebody else by making a connection with somebody. So you never know what you're going to learn. Okay, last thing on my list of suggestions about how to connect with the biker community is, you know, a lot of people ask about interacting with motorcycle clubs. You may be out at an event, you may see a club, and you want to go have a conversation, try to connect with people from a club. And my piece of advice is pretty general and pretty vague, okay? And I have a video coming out on club stuff, so if you have questions, you may want to watch that for some more advice. But when you think about interacting with a club, number one, you got to know who you're interacting with. Some clubs do not like outside interaction. If you are not a patch member, or you're not a brother of that club, it definitely becomes awkward. Some clubs have trust issues, and that is completely understandable. If you know history of clubs and a lot of club etiquette, you understand why. So sometimes it's a little more difficult. I would tell you, if you're interacting with somebody from a club, a lot of times I would allow them to interact with me first. A lot of times it just may be a hi, a nod, you know, something like that. If they start a conversation, then I know that it is okay. Some other clubs are super open and love to interact with people. So like I said, it just depends on who you're interacting with. But don't ask a lot of questions. Club business is club business. So if you're interacting with folks from a club, just have a conversation, keep it isolated to you know, that conversation of what you guys are talking about, probably motorcycles or a ride or something along those lines. And if it's something that you have an interest in at some point of joining that club, you definitely need to make a connection with somebody in that club to obtain the information and the process on how to get in that specific club. Everybody's different. Nice easy list today, guys. Just sharing some information on how to plug in with the biker community, especially help newer folks out. If I missed something or you thought of something different, I always intentionally make my list of ideas very short, because it allows other people to respond in and share knowledge as well. YouTube and comments are a great way to connect with the biker community. See what I did there? If you guys have a comment though, leave it down below. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. Share with your friends, help the channel grow. We got a lot of great content coming out. Like I said, about to do a video on club culture and some basic principles of clubs. So if you're interested in that, that will be coming out soon. Until next time, guys, ride safe, enjoy your life. You only get one of them. Make the most of it. Do all you can to be happy. And until next time, thank those that allow us to be out riding free and enjoying beautiful sunshine and motorcycles. We'll catch you later.